Noita is, well, honestly, I don't even know where to begin with this game. I do, however, know that it always ends in death. Even completing the work comes at the cost of your life. Making it that far is rare anyways, since every, and I do mean every, pixel is out to get you. But if my fate is already sealed, then I'm taking everything else with me. But first, we need to set some expectations. I've wanted to make a Noita video for quite some time now, but covering everything in this game in a single video is simply impossible. The game may look like a little side-scrolling dungeon crawler with 7 themed levels and a penchant for being incredibly unfair, but that's only scratching the surface of things. Today, as we follow along my 188th run of this game, it's important to remember that Noita is actually just deranged. Like, this isn't normal. Normal games have you get stronger as you do normal things. Noita has you get stronger by breaking into parallel worlds. Yes, I'm serious about this. Like many 2D games, Noita's world is shaped like a box. Unlike those other games, however, the borders of the world aren't impenetrable. In fact, breaking through is pretty simple. On the other side of the wall is another world, same shape, and these worlds repeat infinitely to the left and right. Infinity exists vertically too, but it is heaven and hell that extend infinitely in those directions, and they only copy certain parts of the world. I bring all this up because, within a single world, resources are scarce. There are only 8 health pickups in the world, and few other ways to heal. Perks are limited too, as only 7 can be obtained in the Holy Mountains. Parallel worlds solve this scarcity issue, since there are as many worlds as floating point imprecision will allow for. As such, our main goal right now is to get the required resources to break into the next world. Typically, this means 3 things: a way to break cursed rock, a way to traverse the distance, and a way to survive the journey. Of course, we start with none of this. Instead, we start with chaotic polymorphine, i.e. the most dangerous substance in the game. Yeah, no thanks, I'm not crazy, I'd much rather have water. Other than a potion of concentrated mana, the mines don't have much to offer. The holy mountain beneath, however... What? Luminous Drill is one of my favorite spells, and one of the big 3 needed to break into a parallel world. But the other spell, Sea of Mimicium, is the more interesting find. Mimicium, as the name implies, turns into other liquids upon contact, so having a spell to generate the stuff can be very useful. Usually, obtaining the spell is quite an ordeal, part of an entire questline in the Sky Temples. Finding it in the very first Holy Mountain is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one, since we can just pay 100 gold instead of needing to, fly to the Henkava Temple, bottle some pheromone, fly to the Baron Temple, pour pheromone on a potion mimic, pick up the potion mimic, fly back to the Henkava Temple, use the potion mimic to pour Mimicium on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dormant potion mimics, pick up Sea of Mimicium, realize you don't have Tinker with wands everywhere, fly back to a Holy Mountain. Instead, we can skip all that and put the spell on a wand right now. As for perks, well, Telekinetic Kick is basically a gravity gun. Physics objects can deal quite a lot of damage at high velocities, so being able to throw them about makes killing enemies a lot easier. Plus, they drop twice as much gold when killed this way. Inside the next zone... Oh. I didn't get that much gold in the last zone, on account of it being terrible, but the gold we do have is enough to at least buy this wand from the shop. Teleport Bolt is another piece of the puzzle, and while I may prefer the small variant, this will do just fine. Using this newly acquired spell, we can already start breaking the game. Normally, exiting a holy mountain causes it to collapse behind us, but the trigger is quite small, so we can easily skip by it. Here, I do this to preserve the health pickup, so that I can return later when I have... Well, fuck. Ow, 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 ow. If you recall from about 20 seconds ago, I accidentally collapsed the holy mountain above the snow zone, leaving the health pickup inside of it. In reality though, this didn't happen 20 seconds ago. It was more like 4 minutes ago. This sort of temporal inconsistency is usually not a problem. In fact, it's kind of the backbone of narrative pacing. You can watch me anger the gods and kill their messenger without needing to wait through all the stuff that happens before. Similarly, you can watch me break through this wall without spending several minutes on it. Messing with time is great. I'm addressing this blatant manipulation of chronology though, because it's about to make me look like a dumbass. Before I finished digging out of the holy mountain, I logged off, went to bed, and proceeded to spend 9 days doing literally anything else. So, when I finally log back on and finish the tunnel, I can't remember about the... Oh, the thing. Oh, what was it? the thing. I'm sure it wasn't that important. What is important is this massive wand. Look at it! It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. This is a 25? I must be stupid. Anyways, what's more important than wands is help. Since this run is going so well, it's probably worth it to go around and collect some orbs of true knowledge. Orbs have many effects, such as unlocking spells for future runs. However, if the orb spell is already unlocked, collecting that orb again will increase your maximum health by 25. Only the maximum though, which means that we need a normal health pickup in order to get any real benefit. Now, do you see where the problem is? You know, the thing that I should have remembered? Did you remember? That this biome absolutely sucked! A mysterious darkness lingers in this place, causing explored areas to quickly return to obscurity. With only 31 hit points and no way to retrace our previous path, going through this biome to get the health pickup is basically suicide. If I had remembered this fact earlier, I probably would have been more careful, instead of getting jumped by the Hamikset. Oh my god, Hamas! Ow! Well, what's done is done. Instead of dying in the coal pits, let's take a different path. Digging back into the mines, we can take the chasm back to the snow zone. Unfortunately, every path from here to a health pickup is likely to kill us. But we have Luminous Drill, and with it, the power to make our own path.
The bladderfish is not insane.
Stop talking about the bladderfish.
So, that took an hour. Fun. If I wasn't using concentrated mana, which quadruples mana regeneration, it probably would have taken longer. Given how useful this stuff is, I'm actually going to take Iron Stomach over melee immunity. It sounds stupid, immunity perks are some of the best in the game, but Iron Stomach will allow us to drink as much concentrated mana as we want, which is a lot. Like 24 times the normal, "you are going to explode" limit. That should last us a few hours. By the way, Sea of Mimicium is how we got this much concentrated mana in the first place. While this is a useful application of the spell, concentrated mana is not actually the liquid I'm looking to replicate. That would actually be Ambrosia, which is a poison when ingested, but when merely touched, grants complete damage immunity. It's the third and final component needed to get to a parallel world. Unlike Luminous Drill and Teleport Vault though, Ambrosia can't just be purchased inside a holy mountain. It must be found out in the world. Even if the flask is broken, which is common when left out in the open, even if that is the case, we should be able to collect a few pixels of the material, and that will be enough for our needs. However, as the search goes on, the limited nature of a single world becomes ever pressing. Though the jungle rewards us with better wands and superior spells, it too brings forth greater foes. Each encounter we emerge victorious is a toll upon the very resources we cannot afford to lose. In the undergrowth, it becomes increasingly clear that the divine drink is not to be found. The Hisi base lies above, its steel beams cross-cutting the frozen turf. Nature's wrath holds no presence here. Instead, it is uncaring machinery and unstable explosives that one must be wary of. As if the volatility of this venue was not enough, those who defend it are often prone to detonate it. The divine drink is not to be found here. To ascend again is to return to the snowy depths, and while it is not devoid of danger, the danger is far more manageable. Burrowing through the rubble of the holy mountain, we finally reclaim the health pickup that we lost so long ago. But yet, it would appear that the divine drink is not here. As much as I would love to keep waxing poetic about the divine drink, it really is getting us nowhere. Unfortunately, I've bet everything on finding the damn potion, even the holy mountains. The things that Luminous Drill cannot cut are next to none, but as it would turn out, the gods really don't like it when you cut through their great temples. Do so once and they'll send Steve in to protect them. Dealing with him is actually pretty easy, but his brother Scott is a whole other story. This holy mountain marks the third Steve killed, meaning that every future holy mountain will contain Scott instead. Our wand build is pretty solid, so fighting Scott without Ambrosia isn't actually impossible, it's just a risk I'd rather not take. So, it's a good thing we don't have to. Fucking finally! now I can go break into the parallel worlds. That took way too long. After briefly stopping to collect some cash, it's finally time to break through the boundary. As I said before, the process is pretty simple, though it's also extremely dangerous if performed improperly. To begin, we'll use luminous drill to dig towards the cursed rock. Next, we stain our clothes with ambrosia. This will protect us from the damage cursed rock inflicts. Finally, using teleport vault, we can inch forwards into the boundary. From here, it's a simple cycle of carving out some space with our drill and teleporting to move ahead. If you're wondering why we can't just walk instead of teleporting, well, there is actually a reason. Movement dries our clothing, and ambrosia stains deplete faster than most. If we were to simply walk forwards, our immortality would cease to exist, and the curse here would kill us quickly. Thus, teleporting is safer than walking. Once on the other side of the boundary, we can move as normal, though we're not quite out of the woods yet. On the surface of parallel worlds, shadow copies of a couple of bosses spawn as normal enemies. Much like borrowing from the Scarlet Devil Mansion, getting past these guys is just a matter of being fast enough, and while that might not be a perfect solution, it is enough to reach the cave entrance. So we back in the mines. Okay, but seriously, we did it! We're in a parallel world! A fresh set of perks await. The only catch is that we can't take these portals to get to the Holy Mountain. They're hard-coded to teleport to the main world, so we'll just have to break in ourselves. This is why I wasn't too concerned about pissing off the gods earlier, because with parallel worlds, it was bound to happen sooner or later. Luckily, Ambrosia makes dealing with Scott significantly easier, allowing us to grab such perks as All-Seeing Eye and Fire Immunity. However, perks aren't the only thing Holy Mountains are good for. They also contain a decent variety of spells. Look at this one! It summons a rock, and with it, we will do great things. Throughout the work in the parallel worlds, I alone am the nowhere to be. Imaginary technique. Homing rock. Ooh, it actually worked! Holy shit! Oh my god. It's beautiful. After getting the rest of the perks in East 1, we desperately need to go shopping. Though Parallel Worlds will give us as many Holy Mountains as we want, it's easier to obtain certain spells by rotating 90 degrees. Because the heavens are known for their phenomenal marketplaces. Ascending to the heavens is extraordinarily literal, and while the locals don't take kindly to our presence, this is decidedly their problem. Oh fuck, what was that? What the fuck was that? Luckily, there are places where enemies don't spawn, and this is where we'll be spending our coin. Each spell costs about 35 grand up here, but that's why we visited the gold. Besides, even just a few of these spells will make a massive difference. Remember Luminous Drill? Remember how it took me an hour just to dig from one holy mountain to the other? Well, might I introduce you to unlimited black holes? That's the type of difference that Greek letter spells can make, and while Luminous Drill is one of my favorite spells, it's time to retire it. Compare breaking through the western border with the eastern one. The difference is as clear as day. Eventually, I plan to make an unlimited healing wand with this tech, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. For now, we're back to perk farming, grabbing such classics as Permanent Shield, Tinker with Wands Everywhere, Peace with Gods, Perk Lottery. At this point, it's less a matter of choosing which perks we do want, and more about choosing ones we don't. Take Leggy Mutation, for example. I had never seen this perk before, and so I figured, hey, what's the worst that could happen? Turns out, the damn perk cripples you. Ah, fuck, now that perk was a mistake. If Teleport Vault wasn't just the better way of moving about, I probably would have sought out Colmy right then and there. But there'd be no point to that, really. I've already beaten this game once before. Bringing the Red Lion to the work and turning the world to gold. Doing that now, doing that again, would just be a waste of potential. So, that's not what we're going to do. Instead, we are going to go further, harnessing this potential, to embark on a quest I've only attempted once before. Collecting the 33 orbs, destroying the Kol Masilma, and restoring the world to a peaceful state. Not for any particularly noble reasons. I just want the pretty necklace. Anyways, to do all that, we're gonna need something stronger than a rock. Before, we were using concentrated light multicast with chainsaw to create this. Not bad, but we can do better. Let's add perks into the mix. Specifically, 2 copies of Glass Cannon. This perk quintuples our damage output at the cost of having low maximum HP. It takes 5 Holy Mountains just to get our health back up to 100, as the extra max health pickups lose all effect. But yeah, quintuple damage. Twice, because we have 2 stacks, so that's 25 times. Nice! How about another perk, like Eat Your Vegetables? It adds damage based on how full our stomach is, which, well, our stomach can get very full. Maybe this is a little overkill, after all, the damage scales logarithmically, but I wouldn't argue with the results. Next, we... What the fuck is this? Okay. Okay, what does this do? Oh! After almost dying, shit. Twice. After almost dying twice. After almost dying twice, it's back to the perk mines for us. Taking what we want, skipping what we don't, and causing utter calamity in between. Oh god.
Oh god, what have I done?
Okay, we're pretty powerful now, arguably to the point that the game can't handle our strength. I mean, it did crash, multiple times in fact, and games are usually meant not to do that. Here's the thing though, the final boss's health scales exponentially with the number of orbs collected, and if we want that shiny necklace, we're going to need a lot of orbs. With all 33 orbs, Homie's gonna have somewhere around 1 trillion hit points, which we can't even scratch right now. I initially thought that spells to power would be the solution to that problem, as with some clever wand building, it's capable of producing infinite recursion. Infinity is probably larger than 1 trillion, so it sounds like it would work. Unfortunately, we are bound by the fact that Noita is a 32-bit computer game, which itself falls short of infinity. Simply put, spells to power is crashing my game, and I have no idea how to use it safely. The save file is already a little bit unstable. I mean, do you not have any legs? Oh, that's sad. Did I destroy all your legs or something? Ooh, feisty. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Alright, well, that's the spark. Point is, spells to power is too dangerous to use, and we need another way to bridge the gap. Gold to power is a viable substitute, since it hard caps at 24,000 gold, but we would need infinite cash to use it sustainably. Turns out though that when dealing with money, infinity lies are somewhere around 2.1 billion. Liberal usage of holy bombs alongside a few stacks of the greed perk is enough to reach this point. Gold to power adds a rather respectable 10,000 damage to our wand, which is compounded by all the usual bonuses as well. But we can do better. How, might you ask? Well, all we have to do is divide by 800. Underneath its magical exterior, Noita is something of a deck building game, where each spell acts as a card drawn from the deck, adding various effects to the spell cast in the hand, which is then resolved and moved to the discard. As a part of their effect, certain spells such as modifiers and multicast draw 1 or more spells from the deck, and yes, for all you Yu-Gi-Oh fans, this means that double spell is actually Pot of Greed in disguise. The weirdness begins when you start creating copies of cards, which all activate their own draw effect. This isn't having 2 identical cards in hand, that's fine, when we're talking about using the same card twice, because this is Noita. And that is totally possible. Using divide by spells, we can do just that. Specifically, a divide by spell will target the top card in the deck, cast as many copies of that spell as the divide by is rated for, then discard the top card from the deck. The first copy isn't allowed to draw more cards, but the remaining copies can, so copying modifier and spells tends to get extremely weird as newly generated draws grab all sorts of spells from the deck. This gets even more complicated when you divide by divide bys, creating what is known as a divide chain. In a chain, the first divide by targets the top card, the second divide by targets the second card, and so forth. If spells are drawn from the deck midway through the chain, even weirder shit happens, and the chain casts less copies than it intuitively should have. The solution to this problem, of course, is to use even more divide bys. Divide chains can only be so long, and attempting to exceed this limit causes the excess divide bys to divide by 1. Because the first cast of a divide by spell never draws, we can avoid any excess draw created by copying a modifier spell. This is also where the number 800 comes from. It's the maximum number of copies a divide chain can create. Divide by 10 has an iteration limit of 2, so it occupies the first 2 slots. Divide by 4 has a limit of 3, occupying the third slot. Divide by 2 has a limit of 4, so naturally it occupies the 4th and 5th slots. We need that last one to function as a divide by 1, remember. Thus, the chain is 10 by 10 by 4 by 2 by 1, which is 800. Does any of that make sense? Dear God, I hope that made sense. I barely understand this shit myself, and that took way too many takes. Anyways, I kinda lost track of the math, but casting 800 copies of gold to power, multiplying by a few crit bonuses, alongside all the other damage us discussed previously, and now this one deals somewhere around
1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100.
Okay, 2 billion damage per hit. Okay.
Okay, buddy. Okay, how? I'll talk about it.
Or more, maybe? Doesn't really matter now, does it? Even this number is a truly excessive amount of damage. The gods become afraid after only 1 million damage in one attack. Whether this deals 2 billion or 26, there's no doubt about it by now. I am the strongest. So, that's the damage sorted. Though, if we want to actually have a shot at killing a 33 orb colmy, some preparations are in order. First, we need to talk about the orbs. In Noita, there are 11 orbs of true knowledge, scattered throughout the world. These 4 are the easiest to get, and I stumbled upon the Holy Bombs orb earlier too. But glaringly, 11 is much less than 33. In fact, it is exactly 1/3 of 33. Huh, that's interesting. So, theoretically, if we were to take the 11 existing orbs and copy each of them twice, we'd have enough. Hey! Unsurprisingly, the answer to the scarcity problem is once again parallel worlds. Specifically, each orb has a corrupted counterpart on both the east and west side, which is shared between all worlds of the same type. Whether we pick up an orb in the first east world or the 10th, it still counts as the same east orb, which effectively limits us to 33. And yes, I am aware that the end of everything can create even more orbs, but also, activating Skalapendra's 9-tier attack was not, in fact, on my bucket list. With 11 orbs in the main world, 11 to the east, and 11 to the west, we could fight Colmy and get the shiny necklace. However, there are only 10 to the east and west. Wait, what? Turns out, parallel worlds aren't exactly identical to the main world. Several locations, such as the Dark Cave and the Laboratory, are just missing. Nothing is there. Among these locations is the Lava Lake, at the bottom of which the Nuke Orb lies. Since the lake isn't copied, neither is the orb. But if parallel worlds cap out at 10 orbs, then we'd end up missing 2. Heaven and Hell don't have any orbs. Actually, technically this one is in Hell, but it isn't copied further down. Despite Noita's vastness, with its infinitely repeating worlds, there just aren't enough orbs on this plane of existence. I guess we're left with no choice. We need to get isekai'd. Along the horizontal axis, parallel worlds repeat infinitely. Along the vertical axis, it is the work that extends the high heavens and the burning hells. However, there exists a third dimension, differing from the 2 physical ones, but perpendicular nonetheless. Time. The temporal axis repeats too, taking the form of New Game Plus. Entering New Game Plus is well within our capabilities, but it would be wise to prepare anyways, as time only flows in one direction. Once we enter New Game Plus, we can't go back, and our orb counter will be reset too. Many things will change, such as where the orbs spawn. Notably, in New Game Plus, the East and West worlds possess 11 orbs each, adding up to the full 33. The other notable change that New Game Plus presents is reducing the number of Holy Mountains. Perks aren't reset in New Game Plus, so we might as well stock up now before they become scarce. Searching through parallel worlds in the current plane of existence is less and less rewarding though, as more choices are perks we don't want. What we really want is a way to copy all the perks we currently have, which is exactly what perk duplication does. The nullifying altar is designed to remove perks from the player and place those perks in the air. But if the player doesn't exist when it comes time to remove them, what happens? The answer is that we have our perks and can eat them too. This is perk duplication. The gods don't like it, but we're beyond them now. To activate the altar, we need 3 things: blood, whiskey, and silver. Having the vampirism perk, I've kept a little bit of blood on my person for quite some time now. I've also long since traded my ambrosia for whiskey, which means that the only thing we're missing is silver. Being a powder, it's a little bit rarer, but looking for it shouldn't take that long, right? You motherfucker. This is going to be the death of me. Oh, fuck! Relax. Nothing wants to kill you. Jesus. Come on. Do I even have enough silver for this? Please tell me. God damn it! Well, okay, fuck this run. Fuck, what was that? Shit! Son of a bit, you know, I'm not dealing with this shit. As I said earlier, there's no point in taking magnesia to the work. I've already seen that ending. But the other endings, like the toxic gold ending, can be achieved by bringing magnesia to the mountain altar instead. While I didn't know where to begin with this game, I do know where it ends. Here. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. If you'd like to see more like this, maybe consider subscribing. I currently upload once in a blue moon, so I won't bomb your inbox or anything, because that's all I've got for you today. So, see ya. Oh, this is New Game Plus. Fuck. Because I have 7. Okay. Apparently I'm not done yet. Fuck.
Not quite.